Looks like Google just gave AI agents real buying power, and Apple is letting Gemini think for Siri, and Anthropic just cut off competitors and kicked off real beef with xAI. This doesn't feel like friendly competition anymore, it feels like the start of an AI power struggle. Let's talk through what actually happened. Okay, let's start with Google. This is probably one of those announcements that sound boring but is actually a big deal. Google launched something called the Universal Commerce Protocol. It's a bad name, but it's a very Google name, but the idea itself is simple. Google wants AI to handle shopping end to end. It's not going to recommend or compare products anymore or send you links. It's actually going to do the buying for you. And once you understand that, the rest of the announcement kind of makes more sense. Up until now, AI kind of stopped right before the finish line. You would ask, hey, what's a good laptop under $1,200? The AI would compare a few models, maybe summarize some reviews, then say, here's a link, go check it out. So the thinking happened in AI, but the action still happened somewhere else. That separation mattered because as long as AI couldn't act, it wasn't really in control. However, with this new setup, Gemini can see what's actually in stock, pull real pricing details, apply discounts, and go through checkout, all inside the AI. No tabs, no checkout pages, and no bouncing between sites. You're not actually shopping anymore, you're delegating that to somebody else. And that is AI. You're saying, handle this for me. And that's the moment where AI stops becoming a helper and starts becoming an actual AI agent that does your shopping now. This isn't about convenience. Google didn't wake up one day and say, hey man, shopping is hard, let's help people. They're actually doing this because checkout is power. Whoever controls where money moves controls data, behavior, and leverage. That's why Apple guards payments, and that's why Amazon owns checkout. That's why app stores take a cut from the proceeds. But Google wants Gemini sitting right there at the buy it moment, not upstream at search, not downstream at ads, right in the middle. This surprised a lot of people. Big retailers, Walmart, Target, Shopify, Etsy, they're all kind of backing this though. Why? Because Google isn't becoming the seller, retailers still control the pricing, fulfillment, loyalty, and stay the merchant of record. The AI follows their rules. From a retailer's perspective, this reduces friction without giving up control, and friction is where sales die majority of the time. But here's the part I think people underestimate. Once people trust AI to buy things for them, shopping behavior changes. You don't browse or compare endlessly, and you don't open 10 tabs at once. You just say, get me a good one of X. And once that happens, affiliate sites get shaky, comparison blogs lose relevance, traditional e-commerce funnels break, because all of those models depend on you actually doing the work. But now AI doing the work changes the game completely. Apple and Google put out a joint statement which already tells you that this is serious. They don't do that often, and it's weird to see Google and Apple work together, but the headline version is simple. Apple is basing its next generation of Apple Foundation models on Google's Gemini models and cloud tech, and those models are going to power future Apple intelligence features, including a much more personalized Siri coming later this year. Now here's the important part. This is not Apple testing Gemini, this is a multi-year partnership, so it's a commitment. Apple basically said in their own words, we evaluated a bunch of options and Google's AI was the most capable foundation. That's a pretty strong statement because let's be real, Apple had choices. They could have gone all in internally, expanded the OpenAI partnership, or stitched together multiple models. Instead, they landed on Google. And that tells you two things. Gemini has come a long way. Apple cares more about reliability and scale than hype. Apple doesn't want the flashiest demo, they want something that works at iPhone scale. This does not mean that Google owns Siri or Apple is sending your data to Google or Apple is giving up control. Apple is very clear. These models still run on Apple devices and Apple's private cloud compute. Apple keeps its privacy posture and keeps the interface and the ecosystem. Google is providing the brains and not the user interface experience that Apple is going to provide. From Google's side, this is massive. Gemini is now becoming the foundation for Apple's AI features, embedded into Siri, and running quietly behind the scenes. This is the kind of distribution most AI companies would kill for. People won't even realize they're using Gemini, and that's the point, and context matters here. Google just surpassed Apple in market cap for the first time since 2019. It also had its best year since 2009, and signed more billion-dollar cloud deals than the previous 2 years combined. This deal fits that story. It's Google saying, "We're back and people trust us again." Now, naturally, the question is, what does this mean for OpenAI? Right now, Apple says nothing changes. ChatGPT is still integrated into Siri for more complex world knowledge type queries, but let's be honest, if Gemini is becoming the foundation layer, that kind of shifts the balance. This doesn't kill OpenAI's role overnight, but it absolutely changes the long-term dynamic. Apple is clearly hedging its risk here. They're not betting everything on one AI company, they're kind of building leverage. Zooming out, this deal actually makes a ton of sense for both sides. Apple gets the best-in-class AI infrastructure, faster Siri improvements, and no need to overextend internally. And Google gets massive distribution, credibility, and a front-row seat inside Apple's ecosystem. And neither side gives up control of what they care about most. Apple keeps its privacy and devices, and Google keeps the models and its scale. That's a clean trade. Alright, now we get to the fun part, because this week wasn't just about new models or partnerships and everyone getting along with each other, there was actual real beef. So here's what happened. Anthropic, the company behind Claude, just cut off access to its models for competitors, not users or random developers, but specifically its competitors. Claude stopped working inside third-party tools like OpenCode, and more importantly, Claude stopped working for xAI employees internally. And we know that for a fact because xAI co-founder Tony Wu literally told his team in Slack, he said, paraphrasing, "Claude models aren't responding in Cursor. Cursor says that this is a new Anthropic policy for major competitors." He even told the team, "This hurts productivity short term, but it pushes us to build our own stuff," which is a very calm way of saying, we just got cut off. And I want to be very clear here, this wasn't a bug, a billing issue, or some random policy enforcement. Anthropic chose to do this on purpose. They declined to comment, Cursor pointed back to Anthropic, and xAI didn't comment publicly either. But silence here is the answer. Anthropic is drawing a line, because until now, AI labs were kind of playing nice. Everyone used everyone else's model internally, people mix and match, developers ran Claude, GPT, Gemini side by side, but that era is now ending. This move says, you don't get to build your own competing products on top of us, and if you follow tech long enough, you know this pattern. It's the same thing we saw with cloud platforms, app stores, social networks. First, it's open, then it's partners, then it's controlled. Anthropic just moved to step 2. Now, to be fair, I actually understand why Anthropic did this. Anthropic positions itself as safety first, enterprise first, and trust first. They don't want competitors training off Claude outputs, relying on Claude for internal productivity, or building rival coding tools on top of their own models. From their perspective, that's just bad business. But here's the trade-off. When you tighten control, you also slow ecosystem growth, create resentment, push competitors to accelerate internally, and that's exactly what happened. Tony Wu basically told the team, "This hurts, but it forces us to move faster." That is not panic, but it's kind of a move that almost guarantees faster internal model development, more focus on grok-based tooling, and less reliance on external AI providers. Anthropic may have just accelerated xAI's roadmap by months. Reports also suggest that Anthropic cut off OpenAI access as well, which if true is wild. This tells you that this isn't personal, it's strategic. Anthropic doesn't want any major competitor relying on Claude. They want Claude to be the trusted enterprise model, not the shared utility everyone builds on. Once companies start cutting each other off, you're officially in platform war territory. Zooming out, this is the same story we're seeing everywhere in this video. Google is embedding Gemini everywhere, Apple is choosing who powers Siri, Anthropic is locking down Claude, and xAI is being forced to go fully internally. AI isn't just getting smarter, it's getting territorial, and once that happens, things move fast. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. We do real tests, not just headlines. Make sure you're also subscribed to The World of AI. And don't forget to check out our newsletter for deeper breakdowns you won't see on YouTube. And I'm growing my Twitter following, so make sure you follow me on Twitter as well. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.